Dear student, due to coronavirus, school started online classes for your study. So you can subscribe Golden Flower Palia YouTube channel, like and press the bell icon.
Hello students, today we are going to discuss Gauss theorem, and in the Gauss theorem there are number of derivations which are very important for the board examination. But before starting this topic today, we have to understand two very important quantities. One is area vector and another is electric flux. Okay, so let us start with the topic today. First is area vector. What is area vector? Okay, sometimes we need not only the magnitude of area, and we need the direction of area also. So here we are going to define the area vector just for the need of the direction of area of any surface. Okay, the surface which is kept in a some kind of electric field, some kind of magnetic field. So there we have need of the direction of area also. Okay, so what is the area vector? Area vector is the normal drawn to the surface which we are talking about. Okay, so what is area vector? I am just writing the definition of area vector here. It is normal drawn to the surface in question. Okay, the surface which we have drawn, for which we need the area vector, which we need the direction of area, the area vector will be perpendicular to that surface. For example, we have this surface and we want to find out the area vector of this surface, and it is having area A. Okay, the area of this surface is A. So what will be the area vector here? It will be a normal drawn to the surface, a perpendicular drawn to the surface outward direction, that is showing the area vector. And what is equal to area vector? Area vector is equal to the magnitude of area and unit vector, and this unit vector is having direction perpendicular outward, the direction of the surface which we are talking about. Okay, so this is area vector. Okay, in this how we are explaining the area vector which is perpendicular to the surface we are talking about. One more thing, if we are not having a regular surface, then what we have to do, like we are having a sphere. Okay, and sphere, it is not a kind of plane surface. Okay, it is a curved surface. So if we are not having a particular symmetrical kind of surface, then what we have to do to find out the area vector? So for this we have a different method. Like this is a surface and it is having a irregular shape. Then we need to divide this surface into a smaller part, infinitely large number. Okay, infinite parts we will do, and any one of the part of this surface we call it ds. Okay, so what is ds? Ds is the area of this smaller part of the surface, and its area vector will be ds vector. The length of this arrow that we have drawn shows the magnitude of ds, and the direction, outward direction, it is showing the direction. Okay, so this is a kind of way to find out the area vector, to find out the direction of area of surface. Okay, after that we have a term that we have to define, that is electric flux. So what is electric flux here? Electric flux. Do you know what is the meaning of flux? The meaning of flux is flow. Okay, so because we are talking about electric field here and I am defining you electric flux, so there will be a flow of electric field. So electric flux, somewhere it is a property of electric field. Okay, if we want to define the electric flux for electric field, so we need a surface which is kept in electric field, and electric field is passing through this surface. How we visualize the electric field? We visualize the electric field by electric field lines. Okay, So what is electric flux? Electric flux is the number of electric field lines passing through a surface normal to it, okay, perpendicular to the surface. Okay, so what is electric flux? It is number of electric field lines, electric field lines passing from a surface normally, okay, perpendicularly, normally. So suppose this is an electric field flowing from a space, and this is the surface kept, okay, from which we want to find out the electric flux. So what will be the electric flux for this surface? How many number of lines is passing from this surface? Suppose the area of this one is ds, okay, this arrow don't you show, ds is the area of this surface, and its area vector is in the same direction, ds vector. This is electric field. So what is electric flux? It is a part of a surface, a big part of this board like surface. This is a part of surface which is having the area ds, okay. So how much electric flux is passing through this surface? That is equal to eds, okay, eds. If the electric field have some other direction than area vector, then what we have to do, like this is a surface, and this is the direction of electric field, but its area vector is having direction ds, this one, perpendicular to the surface. Then we have to take a rectangular, then a parallel component, horizontal component of electric field. Suppose this is having an angle of theta. Here we have to take E cos theta. Okay. So what is the electric flux passing from this surface now? This will be equal to E cos theta ds, or we can call it EDS cos theta, or we can write it as E dot ds vector, okay, delta phi is equal to. So it is the dot product of two vector quantities. So electric flux is a kind of scalar quantity, okay, it is a kind of scalar quantity because it is equal to the dot product of two vector quantities. It is a scalar product of two vector quantities. So a scalar product of two vector quantities shows that the resultant quantity is scalar in nature. Is that clear? So this is what if we are having the direction of electric field other than the area vector, then we have to take the horizontal component which is in the direction of area vector. That component of the electric field and the area vector, we have to multiply them both, and this will be the final electric flux passing through this surface. One more important part here it is. So what we do if we have irregular surface and it is kept in non-uniform electric field. For uniform electric field we have written E dot ds, okay, EDS cos theta, and it was very simple also because we have to just take a horizontal component, the component which is in the direction of area vector. But what we do if we are having a different electric field, the magnitude of electric field is different at every place and a surface is kept in that field. So this is a surface we have kept in a non-uniform electric field, and for this we have to divide this surface into infinite number of parts. Suppose we are dividing this surface into n number of parts, and every part have different area and different amount of electric field is passing through this area. So suppose this is the part which is having area delta S1 and electric field is passing through it E1, okay, and area vector it is delta S1. Okay, so how much electric flux is passing through this surface, and n number of parts we have divided this surface. So total electric flux phi will be equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3 plus so on plus phi n. Okay, so n number of parts we have divided this surface, which is kept in electric field, and electric field is what kind of electric field it have? It have non-uniform electric field. So non-uniform electric field is what means the different part of space, a different amount of electric field is flowing. Okay, so from this surface how much electric field is passing, that is E1, from the different surface it is E2. So n number of parts we have divided, there will be En number of parts, n number of parts of electric field also. So what will be the electric flux passing through delta S1? It will be equal to E1 vector dot delta S1 vector, and similarly E2 vector dot delta S2 vector, and so on, and finally it will have En vector and delta Sn vector. Okay, so this is the total electric flux passing through this surface if we are dividing this surface into n number of parts. Okay, so how can we write it as? Mathematically we can write it as sigma I is equal to 1 to n in n number of parts, and we can write it as Ei and dot delta Si vector. Okay, if more correctly we want to write it in the mathematical form, we have to take the limits. Okay, so we have to take the limits. We are taking the limit delta S tends to 0, and we are dividing this surface into infinite number of parts. Okay, now we have infinitely divided this part, and the expression was I is equal to 1 to n. It is Ei and delta Si vector, and now we can write it as electric flux E dot ds. Okay, E dot ds. This surface we have divided into we have written the electric flux passing through this surface in the calculus form. Phi is equal to integration of E dot ds. So this is the final mathematical expression we are using for showing the electric flux passing through a surface which is kept in non-uniform electric field. It is non-uniform electric field, and for the uniform it was quite simple, that I told you. Okay, now we have because flux is a kind of a scalar quantity. Why it is a scalar quantity? Because it is the product of dot product of scalar product of two vector quantities. Okay, it is shown by the dot product of two vector quantity, that is why it is a scalar quantity. But then also we assign a sign for electric flux. If electric flux entering to the surface, and if electric flux that is leaving the surface. So now what we have to do, if we are having a surface kept in electric field, and the surface the electric field is entering to the surface and electric field is leaving the surface. There are two kind of situations we have. We have already written here electric flux can be written as E dot ds. Okay, or we can write it as E is equal to EDS cos theta. Okay, this is the expression for electric flux we have. Now two situations are arising here. One situation electric field is entering to the surface, and another situation we have electric field is leaving the surface. If a situation is electric field is entering to the surface, then angle between electric field and area vector, it is 180 degree. So cos 180 it is equal to negative minus sign. For electric flux enters, flux is taken negative. Okay, so keep remember these two situations. And another situation we have, if electric field is leaving area vector and electric field both are in the same direction, so angle between them will be equal to 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. Cos 180 is equal to -1. That is why we have written that if electric flux enters to a surface, we take it as negative. If it is leaving a surface, we take as positive. So for electric flux leaving a surface, so electric flux we take as positive. Is that clear to everybody? So now electric flux is leaving and electric flux is entering. There are two situations we have, and for one situation we are taking it as negative and another situation we are taking it as positive. So this was electric flux. Okay, now here this is the time to define electric field in the some other form. When I was explaining you electric field in the last video lectures, and I told you electric field is known by the different name, and it depends upon the situation in which we are defining the electric field. If we are defining the electric field in terms of force, we call it electric field intensity. And here I told you flux is a flow of electric field and flux is a property of electric field. If we are defining electric field in the form of flux, then we call it electric flux density. But before we study electric flux density, we have to go through the unit of electric flux. What is the SI unit of electric flux? So SI unit of electric flux, that is Weber. Okay, and we write it as WB. Okay, capital W is small b, Weber. Okay, Weber, when you are writing it complete, it is it should be in the smaller form, WEBER. Okay, small letters you have to write, and when we are writing the symbol, it is capital W and small b. Okay, it is Weber, is the SI unit of electric flux. Okay, so 1 Weber is equal to what was the field? Electric field into area vector it was. So electric field having that unit Newton per coulomb, and it is meter square. Okay, Newton per coulomb, meter square, or we can write it as in the another form volt per meter and meter square. So it can be written as voltmeter. Okay, voltmeter is also the unit of electric flux. SI unit of electric flux voltmeter, and SI unit of electric flux Weber, that is Newton coulomb inverse meter square also. Okay, so these are the SI unit of electric flux. So here it is a time to define the electric flux density, that is electric field in terms of electric flux. Electric flux density. So what is electric flux density? We have written E ds normally it is equal to phi, so electric field will be equal to phi upon ds. So it is the flux passing from unit area. We can call it electric flux density, that is electric field. Okay, we are defining electric field in terms of electric flux. So electric flux density is nothing else, it is electric field only. Earlier we were defining it in the form of electric force, Coulombian force, so we were calling it electric field intensity. Now here we are defining it in the form of flux, so we will call it electric flux density, but the quantity is same. Okay, so what is electric field here? It is equal to flux upon area. Flux upon area means it is the electric flux passing from unit area. Okay, it is electric flux passing from unit area of a surface, captain, uniform electric field. Okay. This is the definition for electric flux passing from unit area of a surface kept in electric field. Okay, it is phi upon ds. Clear everybody? So this is the electric flux density, and what will be the SI unit of electric flux density for this? It is Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square. Weber meter inverse 2. Is it clear? So this is the electric flux density in the form of electric flux. Now rest of the part which is Gauss theorem and electric field due to the Gauss theorem we will study all together, okay, in one video lecture, and I'll tell you the Gauss theorem and different properties where we can use the Gauss theorem. Okay, till then you have to wait.
Do self study at home and stay home, save lives. Thank you very much.